What is going on, Chatbot Builders? Monday, got some Monday motivation for everybody. I hope everybody in the CBB Nation all across the globe is doing excellent. I'm going to make your day even better because I've got some special surprises and obviously a special guest, but not just one special guest. What do you know? Who do we got here? But amazing Wendy. What's going on, Miss Wendy? How you doing today?
Hello, how are you? Amazing because I'm with you. Hey, how are you guys?
Well, we're going to make it even better because you might not know this, CBB Nation, but we have another guest. And some of you might
Mhm.
not know this guy. He's a very special dude out in the islands of Fiji. What is going on?
Hey, how's
Astaman.
it going, everyone? Thanks
Man,
for
thank you
having me.
so much for helping arrange this and getting the word out. We do have a major celebrity. This is someone who I've followed at 5+ years and just admired and took my notes on. And luckily, I've had her on this show before. But for those of you in CBB Nation who don't know, welcome to the wonderful Stephanie Garcia. How's it going?
Well, hello. What's up, CBB Nation? How you doing?
So good to have you. We do have some comments here. I'll try to be mindful of the comments, and people are excited. This is going to be awesome. Shout out Mir. We got some hi. We got Danny here. Kim Possible, who's just been killing it in the office hours, and these are so fun. If you guys aren't part of that, what is going on, everybody? We have a treat for you. I'm gonna not take up so much time here and hand the mic over to you, Stephanie. Why don't you just introduce yourself, and I'll pass it to you.
Of course. Yeah. All right. So, hey, crew, my name is Stephanie Garcia, and I am the founder and CEO of Lights Camera Live. I help my clients go from unknown to unfreaking forgettable. And the way that I do that is I teach them how to communicate on camera. Because here's the thing, anyone that's in a service-based business, if you could communicate with confidence, clients will be confident that you can get them results. And that's what we all want, right? In these days, when we're living in a world completely with like digital AI twins and all of that other stuff, at the end of the day, clients want to know, can I trust you with my business? Are you going to generate leads for me? And so what I have got all pretty much packaged up to you today is to talk to you about how to create content in such a way that it comes to you easily and effortlessly.
I love that. I mean, you know what, guys? I've been in front of the camera a little bit, but behind the camera many years in my career doing digital marketing. And that was a one take wonder. Let me tell you that what she just did, this is live, guys. This is not pre recorded. This is live. That's incredible. I don't know how you're able to do that. I mean, I've had hundreds of people in front of the camera that mess up on that very first line where they introduce themselves 10 times in a row and it's not live. But I'm hoping that you're going to help inspire people whether they're doing things live or not. I think video is important. Can we all four agree that video is kind of important these days?
Very much so, yes.
Awesome.
100%.
Put your hands up. Yeah.
I tell you what, I think the reason CBB Nation is so strong is because of video. But
Yeah.
Stephanie is just far more organized than I've ever been, especially for these things. And she's got an amazing presentation for you guys. So I'm going to pop this on the screen for you. And Stephanie, just take it away. And we're here when you need us.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of fun today. If you've never been in any of my master classes before, this is meant to be interactive. And so if there's something that you're struggling with when it comes to creating content, or you have a frequently asked question that you get about your business, your product, your service, I want you to pop it into the chat because this is our limited time, right? And I really want to make sure that you guys get the best value out of this. And when I say value, it's kind of like when people you were super into like getting a juicer, like, oh, if I get this juicer, I'm going to drop all this weight. And then you ask them like, where's that juicer? And they're like, oh, it's on the top shelf. I don't see it. It's collecting dust, right? At the end of the day, for you to find value in something, you have to make it work for yourself. So when I say ask questions, ask questions. Okay. So what I'm going to show you today is the 5-minute content factory. When I tell you that this is going to eliminate any frustrations when it comes to creating content, it's 100% true. Okay. Because if you're ever like, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to script it. What about this? What about that? This eliminates all of that for you. But before we dive into that, this is mostly structured in such a way where I want to teach you the strategy and the methodology behind it. Because yes, there are custom GPTs and all of this other stuff out there, but I want you to know how it works. So that way, because you're smart, because you're smart and I know that you're going to take this to the next level. Okay. All right. So, first things first, you do not have a content problem. There is content living in your head. You are having conversations in your head all the time. Should I do this? Should I do that? Ooh, I could do that better. Or I would have explained it this way. So you don't actually have a content problem. In reality, most people have what's called a system problem. Does that make sense? Because whether you're driving in the car or you're in the shower, you're like, oh, that's a really great idea. But then you don't have a system to actually capture that idea. You don't know where to put it. And by the time it comes for you to actually create that video and put it out there, you're like, what was I going to say again? If that's you, drop a 1 in the comment for me, just so I know that you're actually here. Yeah.
I'll drop a 1 right here.
You're like, I'm gonna give you all the 1s, Stephanie. So you don't have a content problem, you have a system problem. Because when you think about it, everyone says like, oh, you need to create content for YouTube, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, all the freaking things. You need to be on podcasts, right? But here's the thing. We are small business owners. How are we meant to do this, right? And so a lot of times it's not necessarily about creating content. It's documenting what's already happening in your business. The questions that you're already getting from clients asking you, well, how will this solve this problem? Or how do I do that? Or can it do this? All of these things live in your emails, in your DMs, and all the things that you have out there. And so when we're creating content, yes, we want to attract people and put them into our funnel. We want to nurture them. We want to convert them. But more importantly, you want to retain your clients. Because if there's anything that Ryan and I both know, it's that new acquisition of customers is a lot more expensive versus retaining your current customers. And if you could retain your current customers and then upsell them into other things that you have, that's the difference that makes the difference. So getting someone into the door is much more expensive versus keeping a client and building that business quarter over quarter. Notice that I didn't even say like year over year. I'm saying, hey, Q2, that happened. What are we doing in Q3? We're in like Q3 right now, right?
That's true. And,
Right?
to your point, this is exactly CBB Nation. This is why I wanted to do this, because believe it or not, we blinked and half the year's over. And so
Yeah.
I think that we've got to buckle down, and you've got to use everything at your disposal to have this this beautiful funnel here and to retain those customers. And we want you guys to just win. So sorry about
We're
that, but you're
already
right on to my point.
I mean, we're already on Black Friday kind of streamline, right? So let's start working.
Yeah. What was that? So I think it's Blaine says mine is more of a procrastination thing versus an idea thing. Well, the funny thing about procrastination, it just means that you're planning to procrastinate. So you're actually a really good planner. So if you just take that energy and redirect it towards, well, I'm going to plan to do it, then you'll actually get it done. So think about that.
I
All
love
right. So systems are the soil and strategy is the sunlight and skills are the water. And so when you have a system in place and the strategy of how you're going to create that content, when you're going to drop that content, then getting leads is going to come to you a lot more easier. The reason why I say this is because sometimes when people create content, they think like, oh, I just put it out into the ether once and then that's it. It's like, no, this is your greatest hits album. Does that make sense? Like there's a reason why people still make remixes of Michael Jackson's music, of Whitney Houston, because it's freaking good, right? And if you're a no-name DJ, you're going to remix like the best hits, put your little like swag into it, and then you're going to push it back out there. But you need to have a system. And the system is recognizing what are the questions that clients are currently asking you, because that's the question that's going to move them over into making a decision. So I want you to start to realize, do I have a system for how I'm capturing content? Do I have a system for frequently asked questions? And if you don't, that's okay. So let's say on a scale of 1 to 5, if I ask you, do you have a system for you to capture and repurpose your content? On a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being, I don't know, Steph, and 5 like, girl, I got that on lock. Just tell me where you are right now. Are you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
My level is Asta.
Literally asked.
Probably like a 3.
You're 3. Okay. Oh, scrolling is dead as a 0. Oh, I love that.
Robert said 0.
Robert.
Come on,
Ryan,
Robert.
you.
We're at a 1.
Ryan,
I'll tell you what.
Ryan.
One thing I'll tell you about CBB Nation, my people are honest, baby. We tell the truth, son.
Yeah, you might as well.
This is some honesty right here. This is
You might as
honesty. Now,
well.
obviously, Kim's got it going on, and she does. She's
Yeah.
doing it. She's doing it right. For our brand currently, we try our best to not ever post anything that is not quality, is not valuable, and we try never to ever spam on email. So hopefully, no one ever feels like that. But a lot of the times for the live videos, the longer things, we are, internally actually also trying to use the Opus Clips and the Captions app to try to get that short form content out there. But I'm right there with you. Not everybody can do an hour and a half long live. No, that's not necessarily even needed. But what you're
Yeah.
saying here is just so valuable and correct.
Okay, good. So I see the ones, the twos, the fours. I see another one. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So moving right along, without all three, your content is never going to take root and your sales will never grow. Okay. It's going to be one of those things where you're on that constant hamster wheel. I will tell you this, when you are building your followers and your business online, every new person that follows you did not see what you posted last year. Hell, they didn't even see what you posted last week. So just cycle it through. Now, the biggest, like, I don't know what would I say? The biggest objection that I get from most people is, yeah, but if I post it out there, then everyone's going to see it. Like, no, because if it did, then everyone would be posting on social media all the time because it would be free advertisement. The people that actually engage with your social media content do that because they want to see it. You get what I'm saying? So think of it as you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So you have to put it out there and see what people are actually interested in. So I didn't put this into a slide, so I'm just going to tell you this straight out. The way that you use social media, at least the way that I do it, is this. My Instagram stories is my testing ground. I will throw stuff out there just to see if people are really interested. And you know if people are interested because one, they'll send you a DM and like, hey, what was that thing? Or two, you put into like a poll and you say like, hey, have you ever heard about this? Did you know that this is changing? Would you want to learn more? And so when people do that, they're giving you what I call micro commitments that they want to learn more about it. So if people are interested in learning more, then that's when you're going to do an Instagram reel or a TikTok or a YouTube short. And if that starts to take off, then that's when you're going to do like a 3 to 5 minute YouTube video. If that does well, baby, you got like a whole freaking 45-minute live stream, or you've got a 45-minute webinar. After that, you're going to repurpose that into a blog post and to the Opus Clips that Ryan was just talking about. Boom, game over. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's such a good way to think about it. We kind of like do the almost not the opposite in a way, but it almost starts with that live portion first. But I love that idea of testing, and I've heard this from other people too, because I'm paying attention all over the place. And this idea of testing on your stories, or even what I've heard that's interesting, and it used to be frowned upon, but I guess it's not so much anymore, to have another account, almost like a testing account
Yeah,
for your business or brand, just to see what might hit. That's something that I've seen trending lately. That's a great point.
100%. And if you're not using Instagram trial reels, just put in
I
the
don't
word
even know that.
trial in the comments for me so that I know to talk about it. If you know what trial reels are, don't even mention it. But if you're like, what the heck is trial reels? Just type in the word trial for me. And I'll go
I've
over
tried
that
that
with you.
like once or twice myself. I guess I kind of know the idea, but I want to personally know what this is.
Okay. So remind me after that one. Okay. So Robert, Mark, they all want to know too, along with Ryan. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Reginald. Yay. All right. So let's go through this again. Now, the old way of creating content was that it's a content grind, or most people, they'll post and they'll ghost. I posted this thing, but I don't engage with anyone. How come no one's liking, commenting, or sharing any of my stuff? It's because it's the rule of reciprocity. You get what I'm saying? Or sometimes people are like, oh, I want to create content, but I feel guilty because I'm doing this. The new way of creating content is really, you want to create what's called contagious content. And I'm going to share that methodology with you as well. Then I'm also going to give you the 5-minute content factory that's going to eliminate any of your frustrations and thinking, what should I post? What's my hook? What's my call to action? And all the different things. Okay. And then I want to help you start creating conversations that actually convert. Because when I think about all of the content that's out there, I do have clients that say, I want to do like this trending audio. I'm like, that's great. That's going to get you views, but that's not going to get you clients. There's a difference between curating content just to get plays and views versus creating content that's actually going to convert and start to give you cash. So I want you to get into that mindset of sometimes your best performing content isn't going to get the most views, but it will actually drive the most conversations. And I want you to be able to take those conversations and start converting them. Are we good with that? Okay, so the first things first is you want to understand your audience. So when you think about your audience, you want to think about what are their frustrations? What is their daily life? What do they want to hear? What do they do? What do they see? What do they say? And so a lot of things for me, like Ryan, when people tell me like, oh, I struggle to create content, I always ask myself, well, what specifically is holding you back from creating content? And they'll say things like, oh, well, I don't have the fancy camera. I don't have the lights. I'm like, some of the top performing content that my clients make, they film it inside of their car. And it's just the smartphone that they have in their hand. You literally have a production studio in the palm of your hand. And if you're still thinking that you need a fancy content studio, here's the thing. When people feel like your videos are realistic, that you're just coming off of a phone call, you're like, hey, a client asked me this question and I just have to tell you like the real deal, right? No filter, just this is what I said. That is actually going to convert better versus something that always feels completely scripted. So I want you to keep that in mind as far as when you're creating content. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. So the better that you could engage with your audience in real time, the better, and what when understanding them. Good.
I love that.
All right, so I'm looking at this. Kim Gaskell saying, I'm definitely not maximizing my calls to action or revenue aspect of my content. Good. That's a good thing to note because that's already half the battle, right? Half the battle is just saying, okay, what is the content that I'm currently missing when I'm creating that funnel? And we'll go through that. Now, the other piece that I want to share with you is called my favorite, the 10 by 10 formula. What this basically means is that in your business, what you offer, you often get what's called frequently asked questions. Do you not? You get a lot of frequently asked questions, and you could get this whether it's in your DMs, it's in your emails, or in Facebook groups. If you've never farmed a Facebook group before, please do that because you can literally see what people are struggling with and how they're actually explaining it. Okay, you want to use their own words and start to think of, well, how would I answer that? Now, the other piece of that is what are some should ask questions? Here's the thing. You know your business and your service and your solution so much better than anyone else. Someone might ask you an FAQ and you're like, but you really should be asking this, right? So for example, a lot of clients will ask me, hey, Stephanie, how long should my live stream be? When in reality, they should be asking, what's the value that I want to drop on this audience right now? Okay, what's that? Okay. I didn't even ask, I don't even think I asked Wendy, like, how long do you want me to talk for? It was more like, what's the problem that your group is trying to solve right now? And then I designed this based off of that. So when we talk about this, FAQs would be something along the lines of how much does a chatbot cost? When in reality, they should be asking how many leads or sales am I missing because I can't respond instantly. I can't tell you how many times this happens. So for example, my client is headed over to Compass headquarters in New York. And he needs a videographer. I sent DMs to a bunch of videographers because they were recommended by friends, and I still haven't gotten a reply back. And it was a referral from someone. So I was just kind of like, damn, they're going to miss out on this great opportunity to film this presentation. Well, they're basically leaving money on the table. You get what I'm saying?
I want to hit on that because that is something common that I've seen in a lot of different aspects. Even where I live locally on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, it's a small place. So it's not like, busy city, New York, everyone's got piles of money. But at the same time, it's hard to see maybe what you're missing, what you are leaving on the table when you're already successful or at least semi-successful. Maybe you don't see all that, right? Bots definitely in your inbox in general leaves the evidence of what's there, but it's hard, what I've found, to really quantify what that message that you missed could be, especially if you don't have an actual conversation to go by. But what I found that's been something that like makes things real is our pipeline feature, which I'm not sure if you've seen that, but it like to actually have a visual and associate an actual price or a number is associated for value, then it becomes real. But I think people just don't realize what they are leaving on the table.
Yeah, literally, if they had something where it said, Stephanie, when do you need someone by? What date, what time, and what's your budget? If that went into a system and I was like, hey, I'm willing to drop like $5,000 on a videographer right now, I would like, ooh, I need to call that person because it's only a 45-minute presentation that this client is doing. So Something to be said for that. And then I think it's my HD DJ Store says I had to
It's an
fire my
interesting
work and
one.
replace them with a chatbot for Shopify. Yep. And sales increased. So going back to this, another FAQ would be, will a chatbot replace my staff? When perfect example, how can a chatbot help me qualify customers before I talk to them? So Brian and I were just talking about that. Another frequently asked question is it hard to set up a chatbot? What repetitive tasks can a chatbot automate to save my team some time? So when I think about this 10 by 10 formula, I always ask my clients, write down the top 10 frequently asked questions about your business, your product, or your service. Then you're going to write down the top 10 should ask questions. What are the questions that they should be asking? Because everyone could go to Answer the Public, Google or YouTube and find FAQs, but it's the should ask questions that puts that little swag into it because that's based off of your storytelling, that's based off of your experience. Oftentimes when you have a should ask question, it's tied to a real case study for what you can do for a client. So if I were to ask you, what is a frequently asked question that you get about your business or your product or your service, what would that be?
Yeah, for us, it's one of the first ones is how many chatbots can we make, or how do you connect to a certain channel, or how do you get the data or instructions into your agent or chatbot? These are like the most common questions that we get from people that are just brand new. They just hopped on either on social or our website. This is what they're asking.
Got it. And what's a question that they should be asking?
I think that they should be aware of what they want to actually achieve. A lot of people get hung up in details, or they will not fully understand their real end goal. And so they, they're following either hype or a trend, or they someone told them that they need it, so they're going to try it. It's the same thing I think with social media. Most people I think don't post with purpose. They're just posting to check off the box,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when they understand what is it that you want to achieve, Robert has a fun question here asking, are they lying? What I was saying is the ones that don't, or if they do have some sort of agent or chatbot that isn't something like we build, they're not ever going to necessarily know what the value is of the people that are being left on the table. So in Stephanie's example, whenever she's calling in or messaging in to become a customer, and if the business is too busy, like that's a lot of the stuff that happens out here, that business owner might say, yeah, I missed a message or two today. I need to go back and check that. If there was a dollar sign associated, 10 grand, 5 grand associated with that name, the business owner is going to probably look at that differently. And so with our pipeline system and our agents, that's what I was getting at there.
That's cool.
To add a little bit on what Ryan is saying, I feel like most people questions are about how to do this like super spaghetti kind of building, when in fact they should be asking, what's the first thing I should automate to like make my life easier? Which one is like the easy, like the hanging fruit that I can do now and that I can like build on top of it later, That's what I feel, especially with the Latinos. That's what I have seen.
Yeah, I love that. So if you gave me like a 3 to 5 minute YouTube video on that, I would be really interested to know, like, where do I get started? So sometimes I'll have people say, like, should I hire a VA? It's like, well, what specifically are you trying to hire out? If you could imagine what your ideal day would look like as the CEO of your business, how would you want that to function? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes people just need a little bit of guidance of how to structure their thinking. And so when you do this, the idea is that you'll have 10 FAQs and 10 should ask questions that you could start creating content around. Now, beyond that, let me go back over here, find my mouse. Beyond that, let's talk about creating contagious content. Okay. So it's not necessarily always about following trends, because you want to create content that actually converts. And this methodology was developed by Jonah Berger. If you want to find that on Amazon, the book is called Contagious Content, Why Things Catch On. And so he found that social currency, people care about how they look to others. And so they'll share things when it makes them seem smart, when it makes them seem cool. Okay. And so social currency for me let's say in San Diego, and I see something like, oh, here's things to do in San Diego that would be really fun. If I share that with my network, then my friends are going to look at me like, oh, wow, that's really cool. We should do that. But I get that social currency. You get what I'm saying? So what kind of content can you create that gives people social currency? So for example, I have a Facebook group of social media strategists, and I heard that starting July 10th, Instagram posts are now going to start showing up in Google search. So I share that to my Facebook group because now I look like the expert. Does that make sense? And if they share that with their clients, now I made them look good in front of their clients, which also helps them with that retention. So start thinking about, what have you shared that gave you social currency? Now flip that, and how can you do that for your own business? Good?
Totally.
Great. Looking at Reginald's, will a voice bot really help me? How much money am I losing? Yep. See, that's a good one.
He's a CBB OG. I love him so much. He's a good friend of mine. I love this, man. You totally nailed it.
So Reginald, since you gave me an example, this is literally how I would start your video. So a common question that I usually get is, will a voice bot really help my company? When in reality, people should be really asking, how much money am I losing without having a voice bot in my company? Let me explain. Do you see that? So you just hooked them in with a frequently asked question, but then you dug deeper with a should ask question, because they're like, oh, I didn't even take that into consideration.
Love how you go for the pain.
Yeah.
I love that. That's good.
Okay, so we talked about social currency. The other one that I love is called triggers, because when you're top of mind, you're tip of tongue. When you're top of mind, you're tip of tongue. What this means is, when you're creating Instagram stories, guess what, babe? You're at the top of that Instagram feed, okay? When you create a carousel, again, on Instagram, you could do up to 10 images in a carousel. And if someone only saw one photo, guess what? There's 9 additional chances for that to show up in their feed again. You show up on the Explore tab. You get what I'm saying?
Totwe Yeah. We
Your tip of tongue.
100%. I love that.
And if I were to tell you another one, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. I can't feed you if you're not going to open your mouth and tell me that you're hungry. I can't give you money if you're not telling me what problem you're going to solve for me. Okay. So triggers are things of, let's say in San Diego, what happens in San Diego on a Tuesday? Can anyone tell me?
Tell me.
What happens in San Diego on a Tuesday? Do y'all know?
I don't know. Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Wendy knew.
Okay? You know that. So how can you relate something that's top of mind, tip of tongue, that's going to be you? When something drops about AI, when something who's the first person that I go to? Who am I going to talk to? That should be you. Do you get what I'm saying? When there's a breaking news, it should be you. So whether it's
100%, I want you guys to hear that too. I want you guys to understand what she's saying, because it's so smart. And this is something that I applied myself with, like when I very first started. I was like originally the nerd Facebook guy in like 2014, 2015. In my entire area, there's only one Facebook guy, and that was me. Lucky enough, that was like what she's saying. Who's going to solve this problem? If you make enough content and you make enough noise that you solve this problem, it gets ingrained in people's head, and then it becomes, a cycle of referrals. Is what happened to us, and it was great. Yeah,
and that's the thing. If I ever had a question about chatbots or a client, like, I know I go to y'all, everyone up here.
We got you.
That's who I go to, because that's what they talk about. Now, here's the thing. If you have shifted gears in your business, in your lifetime, it happens, right? You need to tell people that, because people only know who you are based on their last interaction with you. People only know who you are based on their last interaction with you. They're not watching all your stories. They're not seeing all your posts. They know you from the last moment that they interacted with you. Think of it like a reunion, right? So I strategically have a list of people that I know that are key influencers within my industry that I need to catch up with. I got to tell them, like, hey, this is what I'm shifting in my business, or hey, I discovered something really cool. I have it on my calendar where I will touch base with people. So maybe you can make it your touch base Tuesdays. Who do I need to touch base with? right? And remind them what it is that I do. Or flip that and reciprocate. Like, hey, you know what, you guys, it's like you could literally do this on Facebook right now or any of your social media channels and just be like, hey, you guys, it's been a minute. What are you guys working on? Just tell me what you're working on, because who you are is very different from the last time that I met you.
Spamming Ryan Mondays. I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, that brings me, this was an experiment that I ran. I'm not going to call any names, but I do know some people are watching that did this with me. And this was like a very small thing, but it works. It takes some effort. But I pretty much made a bet with some people. But I was like, listen, for the next week, okay, because these were people that were struggling to find some new business essentially, and so I was trying to help them out with their own network without having to spend ad money or any of that stuff. And I said, listen, for the next week, what I want you to do is per day, find 10 people that you actually know them, and give them a genuine, like real compliment, something that you could have not spoken to this person for 6 months, a year, whatever. Make it relevant, make it real. If you see them post something, whether it's publicly or in a DM, 10 people, some realistic, genuine compliment. That's what I said. And of the people that did it, it was like 2 or 3 people, or excuse me, 2 or 3 days in, they all had like done. They're like, I'm busy now. I've got back to work. And I think that just that genuine human connection, this is not the LinkedIn spam crap, but the human connection, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I think can really win.
I love it. Okay, so moving on from triggers, the next thing that you could create for content that people will actually share is based off of emotions. Now, it's a spectrum of emotions, yes? So when I see a cute cat and it makes me laugh and it makes me giggle, I will share it with friends because it brings joy and I want to share that feeling with them. And I know that people will actually share that. If you're on the other side where it's like, hey, aren't you pissed off about this? People will share that too because you actually have an opinion. Bold moves in your business will not take root if you are neutral. If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. Okay. So I need you to take a stand on this is what I love about this. This is what I hate about this. I wish that they would do this differently. So I decided to build it myself. Or damn, I love this so much because it does this, this, and this. But at some point, if you want to trigger someone's emotions, you have to be on the outer skirts of that spectrum. You can't just be dead in the middle. You're dead in the water. You get what I'm saying? I'm just going to scroll past you. It's like no opinion, no value, no extra nothing, no seasoning, right? It's bland. It's bland content and I don't care. I actually am now so good at curating what happens on social media. I will literally hit the 3 dots and say not interested. Hit the 3 dots and be like, never show this to me ever again. Because I'm curating what I want to see. It's not like this bottomless feed that I'm trying to go for. And your customers are smart. I want you guys to know that. Your customers are smart. So don't treat them like they're dumb and they're just mindlessly scrolling through stuff. You get what I'm saying? So you want to trigger emotions. And emotions can be something like taking a screenshot of a client that says like, wow, Ryan solved my problem. My God, Wendy has solved so many problems for me. I was like, how do you do this? And she's like, oh, let me send you a quick video. And she solved it. I'm like, damn, that was amazing. She could literally take a screenshot of my DM, put it in her stories and like, this is the type of work that I love to do. This is why I've been doing this for the last 5 years, etc.
That's like your 2025 version of a testimonial, guys. That's so smart.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's easy because people will tell you what they really think in the DMs or in the emails or even a text message. Yes, if you have clients that don't mind being on camera or writing an email, you could get those testimonials too. But I will tell you, when it looks like it's raw and authentic and it's in the moment, so a DM, a text message, an email, and it's just a screenshot, people are like, I like that. Or even WhatsApp.
All these things are so smart. You know, I was just thinking some of the most viral posts on your, I don't know Facebook anymore really, but maybe Instagram and Twitter at least, I guess these two, they are of screenshots of like, look what so-and-so DM'd me. Look at them, get an inside look of my inbox, you know? And that just to your point, just that simple, that's the most simple content ever. No Canva needed. Just screenshot it up. That's good.
And if you're helping, let's say, a client sell courses, and then like you could get a screenshot of them just scrolling on their emails of like another course sold, and they're just like, look at this. I did that. I was like, I didn't feel like talking. I just pointed at it and I just scrolled and I just showed people, look at all these sales that I got. But that's going to get people motivated. Okay. So again, remember when I said to you, you should be having a systems in place? I have this desktop folder. You could steal this idea. It's this folder on my desktop and I called it the awesomeness folder. And anytime I get praise from a client or I do a presentation like this and people are like, damn, that was fire, I screenshot it in real time and I just drop it in there. So that way, if I ever want to like, hey, if you guys need a speaker that's going to like drop fire for your crew, hire me, boom. Right. And I'm like, this is what this person said. And they're like, wow, but it lives there. You get what I'm saying?
People love proof. You got a folder full of proof. I love that.
It's a folder of proof. People love proof, awesomeness folder, whatever it is. And I also call it an awesomeness folder because as business owners, we are on that emotional roller coaster. Yes.
All the time.
Am I
You know what?
doing a good job?
Now that you mentioned that one, something that I struggle with is like sometimes I don't want to do like things on the spot out of the fear of making a mistake. Like I have this, like, say, I know that now I have GPT to fix my grammar and stuff, but I don't know how you deal with that one. Like I don't want to like just do it.
That kind of hit me too. That kind of hit me too, Wendy. It's like I know it's true that, but like they say, what was it? How did you say the last impression was how they remember? How did you say that? Because that's scary.
Their last interaction with you is the last impression that they have of you.
Yeah, that's I think that to some people could be, maybe it's just me, but that could be scary. How do you get over that fear?
Oh, well, I usually tell people, I mean, it's kind of like how you perceive me that's based off of what if you met me back in high school, I'm a completely different person. You get what I'm saying? Who you are today is very different from who you were yesterday because you just learned something new today, didn't you?
Ooh,
your beliefs may have shifted.
Like in this 30 minutes, like I'm not the same person like 40 minutes ago.
You're not the same person. How did you say that, Stephanie? You said
who
you're not
you
the
were
same
yesterday.
person.
Yeah, who you are today is not the same as the person you were yesterday because you learned something new.
Yeah,
You being here and just listening to this conversation, you learned something new. And I always 100%. Tell people, Ryan has heard me say this before, but fail is just an acronym for first attempt in learning. So isn't it good that you're failing? Isn't 100%. It freaking good that you're failing because you're actually learning? And when you're learning, guess what, babe? You're earning.
We don't need, well, what I have told the other one that we don't lose, we only win or learn. And one of the members told me, oh, I'm learning a lot lately. It was so
That's good though.
To that point too, I want to throw this out there. This is like even though this is actually YouTube, this is still more of a private, intimate sort of thing that we hope is going to bringing value to CBB Nation. I know it is. When I first started doing videos, maybe 2018, 2017, whatever it was, for like the first time, for my own purposes, I remember not getting hardly anything at all, but I was just so into it. I can't imagine what would happen. We wouldn't have $1 million plus company if we didn't do these videos and if we didn't do them for years. And we did this before things were cool in AI. And so I think that like I've understood it's been a long journey to like get to where you're actually making money with the stuff.
Yeah.
But how do you tell people to, besides that kind of a story, how do you tell people to keep going no matter what the algorithms are doing? Like what is that motivation to, like, after they've tried it maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month? To me, I know this is not long enough. What is your thoughts on that? Like how do you
for creating content? Oh my gosh,
just to motivate people to keep it going, or should they care about the numbers so much?
And Kobe didn't just do 10 basketball games. They went to camp. They did this. They got coached. They got feedback. You get what I'm saying? Like the greats don't do it alone. The greats don't do it in a silo, which actually brings me to my next point, public value. The more public something is, the more likely people will imitate it. And so you want to build in public. Hey, you guys, I'm trying to grow my TikTok channel. So I'm going to start talking about this. And people are going to see you grow and evolve over time. Because sometimes people just want to know, are you actually committed? Or are you just the type of person that hops from one thing to the other and you're a shiny object? If I could go to your YouTube channel and I know that you've been consistently talking about chatbots and everything that has happened, I know you're consistent. I know you know your stuff. I know you put your reps in. To me, it doesn't necessarily, I don't care about the views. I care about the fact that you are leveling up every single time I come and see you. You get what I'm saying?
100%. And to your point, and I know that you're gonna sit there and like not flinch because this is your whole plan, your master plan. But literally, we were Wendy and I and Asta, we were discussing how we're gonna handle the rest of the things we wanted to do for the year. And I was thinking to myself, how am I gonna find someone to motivate people to make the content that they need to make? And like literally, as this thought, I swear on my life, I don't lie. I'm having this thought, scrolling my Facebook or whatever, and then here you are, and you're like, basically, I don't remember exactly the words you said, but like, if you don't put it out there, you don't show up on the timeline. You're not on the timeline, you're not seen. And I'm like, Wendy, we got to hit her up right now. Like that's so
Exactly.
true.
Like,
So you're the video person to me because you have been so consistent over the years of, and I don't know how many views you normally get. I don't look at that. It's just the content, to your
Yeah.
point.
It's
by the way, I have here one question from one of our Latinas, and he's asking, what will be Stephanie's your advice to overcome the Chinese, how do you call it, like we shy
Stage fright.
and
Oh.
stage fright and
Camera
scared
shyness.
of the camera? Yes.
okay. I'm
Put
gonna
her on
give
the
you the
spot.
short. I'm gonna give you the short version. Okay. Confidence is something that is you've been confident in your life. Confidence can be like, oh, I have family and friends coming over. I'm gonna make that dish. I'm gonna make that lumpia because I know everyone's gonna crush that lumpia, right? You're confident, okay?
Mhm.
Or if I'm gonna go out with my girls for a brunch, guess what I'm doing? I'm gonna fix my hair. I'm gonna put some perfume. I feel fine. I look good. I'm confident, okay? What I need you to do is go back to a time when you felt confident. Confidence can be the first time you got your driver's license. Confidence could be the fact that you graduated high school. Confidence could be you're the first person in your family to build a business. Confidence could be, damn, I got paid in full from that invoice. Do you get what I'm saying? You need to
Mhm.
think back to a time when you felt confidence because people will know when you're faking it online. That's why people are, oh, let me make a digital AI twin. I hate that. I would rather have you be confident. And to be confident, you have to think back to a time when you were confident. Whether it's going to the gym, whether you fixed a problem, you're like, oh, I could take care of that. When you're in that mindset, that's when you create content. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%. I totally
100%.
feel
I'm
that.
going to give you something else too. If you're about to film a video and you're acting nervous, you're not in the act of service. You're too in your head. You have to solve somebody else's problem. It's not about you. If you're nervous, you're not being a person of service. I need you to be a person of service because you have a solution. And if you don't put that out there, you're just going to let someone suffer. I hate that. I hate that.
To your point, I will say to those out there, I don't know how many lives I've done over the past decade at this point. I don't know. It's probably been over 500 or so, maybe way more than 500. I don't know. But I'll tell you, I still get nervous every single time, son. Before I hit that button, I have to force myself to do it. And then as soon as I'm going, I forgot what I was nervous about because I'm like deep building stuff. But like I feel it, there's
Asta
a
was
rush.
trying.
It's fun because I feel like we don't really have customers. They're co-creators and they're
Yeah.
friends, I feel like. So once I see people talking, the nervousness kind of gets out. And again, I'm doing the hardest. I think doing it live is the hardest part, but that's as authentic as you can get. Is that kind of your thought, Steph? I mean, you're
I
a
think so
master
too.
at both recorded and live. What do you think about that?
I think
Live versus.
it's how you frame it. Because when I come on here and I know that I'm going to hang out with you guys, you're all friends.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't view you as strangers. I don't view you as someone that's judging me. I view you as someone that said, Stephanie, I have a problem. And can you help me solve it? Yeah, I could help you solve that. Because we're homies, because we're friends. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when you take it from that perspective, why would I be nervous at all? I'm thankful that you asked me to come on so I could help you. You get what I'm saying?
100%. I
Because
got Doug
if
here.
that's what I can offer, then sure.
I got to
Good.
shout out Doug. I don't think I've even told you this, dude. But I for sure saw you doing one of the coolest selfie videos walking around in some city, Doug. I know
Yeah, I remember
I'm
that.
not going to put his business out there like that, but I think he's like a super gangster in real estate
Mhm.
out west. And I'll tell you, man, I don't see too much stuff on my feed, but that was one of the coolest little videos. And I sat there and watched what you had to say. Boy, you were passionate. It was really cool. Good to see you here, Doug. Sorry.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so public value is built to show, built to grow. show people the journey that you're going on. Say, hey, I'm building out this business and this is what I'm going through. People want someone to root for. If you only show people like the good things in your life, you're not relatable. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you're like, I could never reach that person. I could da-da-da-da. And so even for me, I'll share things about me and my daughter, or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. But I like to show people like, this is how I'm building my public speaking business. Okay. I do beta tests. I have people like Doug was actually one of the people that helped me beta test something. And so that's
Our
public
Doug?
value. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Doug, we love Doug. Doug, you're just the
Yeah.
man, dude.
Yeah, Doug is awesome.
I didn't mean to put him out there like that, but he
Yeah,
really
Doug
is
is
a
really
cool dude.
smart. But that's the thing, though. I've never
So
met
cool.
Doug in person, but because I've been doing live streams on different platforms, when I see someone's name pop up and they comment, right? You have to know when you say someone's name, it gives them those happy brain chemicals, that dopamine, that oxytocin, that serotonin, those endorphins. Okay. So anytime like someone says your name, if you're live streaming, boom, it just released. They're like, ooh, they acknowledge me. Can we all agree that some people in life just want to be freaking acknowledged?
It's 100% true. One of the coolest things, I may have said this before, that I've ever seen a business owner do, and shout out to the brand of CrossFit, whether you've ever done it or not. I don't anymore. My wife does it now every day. She has for like, I don't know, 9 years. But the guy that owns this gym, it's a mega gym, CrossFit 843, shout out Martin. I saw this guy, by the way, go from, it was basically a shack in Bluffton, South Carolina to, the rent on his building's like $25,000 a month. It's a mega building and mega expensive at this point. He's earned every bit. But one of the coolest things I ever saw was every single class that he would have, whether there would be 5 people or 25 people or more, as we're doing the stretches, he literally would say every single person's first name. If it was a brand new person, he's going to learn that person's name right there. And somehow he would immediately get it right going forward. Never messed up. I couldn't believe he never called anybody by a name that wasn't correct that I ever saw.
Yeah.
And that was just an incredible thing. And to your point, it made me feel like I need to come back tomorrow. This dude knows my name now,
Yeah. Everyone wants, if you think of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, everyone craves a sense of belongingness. Okay. We all want to be a part of community, which is why you have the Facebook group, which is why you have these live streams. We all want to be a part of something. We all want to know that we're building something together. This is why you call them co-creators.
Yes.
Okay.
You nailed it.
So the other piece of content that you could create is practical news you can use, useful things that get shared. Here's a template. Here's a this, there's a that. It's like, I want you to use this. I actually have something for you to use today. Okay. It's practical value. The last part is storytelling. You want to tell stories because not everyone likes to be told what to do. But
Totally.
if you said something of like, what's really interesting? A client of mine once asked me this and I told them this and da-da-da-da, but you're not telling them what to do. You get what I'm saying? They're listening to that story because oftentimes when you talk to people and you're giving advice, what does their brain do? Their brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes. You could tell someone something, it's 100 words, but they're only going to catch like 30 words because they're already filtering. Does this matter? Does this matter? Does this matter? But when you say it as a story and it's like them removed, now they're paying attention to it. So storytelling should also be a part of your content system. So now that we know like examples of contagious content, right? It's social currency, triggers, emotions, public value, practical, and storytelling. Now you have a good idea. Now I don't know if this audio is going to work on here. We'll see. And you'll let me know. But I'll give you an example of social currency. And we'll see if this plays. If it doesn't, I'll just explain it to you. Cool?
No. Stupid old StreamYard. I don't think it's going to, I don't hear it. Cool drone shot.
Could you hear that?
No.
It's all
Okay.
StreamYard. I don't
Maybe
think
That's
it
okay.
does that.
So
Well, maybe we can share some of these videos after.
yeah,
this,
I'll
and
give
I
you the
can,
slide. I'll give you the
Great.
slides afterwards. So here's an example of social currency. So both of these are real estate investors. And instead of saying things about, I just listed this or da-da-da, they start talking about the community. And they say, look, listen, if you want your kids to go to the most prestigious schools, let me talk about the schools. That's practical value, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The other one tells a story about how a client was looking for a city to live in that would cater to the wife's love of planting and gardening. The kids like to go to the beach and da-da-da. But he's telling a story. And so when you do that, it gives them that social currency. So those are examples that you could do over there. Okay. And Kim and the rest of the crew will give you the slides. That way you guys can see the examples.
Yeah, totally.
Good. The other one here is triggers. So Sean, remember what I told you about Tuesdays in San Diego? What happens on Tuesdays in San Diego?
Happy Tuesday.
Tacos. Well, Sean put his own spin on it because he actually lives in one of the most prestigious areas here in San Diego. And he's like, well, let's not just talk about tacos. Let's talk about the bougiest tacos. The bougiest tacos where you get the sunset, you get the beach, you get the breeze, you get all the things. That's what he did to separate himself from the typical, it's Taco Tuesday, get your $1 fish taco here. He's like,
all right, Asta, I'm going to need you to get on the bougie bot project stat. Hashtag bougie bots.
Bougie bot builder.
Bougie bots.
Yeah, I love that name.
Yeah.
Asta's on it.
Bot design, she also talks about triggers as far as like, hey, she focuses on interior design. And she's like, ladies, if you're trying to go out and you're trying to look well and you think that you have to go to a med spa, you don't have to go to a med spa. You just need better lighting. So let me show you the lighting that you need to have in your bathroom. So her trigger was anytime you need to get ready, you need this kind of lighting.
I need that.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So those are a couple of examples. Again, I'll show you that too. Emotions. So this goes back to Junpei. So Junpei, the way that his video is he goes, dear crystal ball, what is the real estate market going to look like? And then he takes off like the wig and all that stuff. And he's like, okay, look, everyone's been asking this question. It's funny and it's quirky because he's kind of like, everyone keeps thinking that they could read the ball and the crystals. And it's not that. It's like, look, listen, this is how the market is trending and blah, blah, blah. But it's that emotional hook. It's visual. It's something different. Okay. So it's not him just like, oh, well, today, let me read what's going on with the mortgage rates. Okay. He's like, let me do something different. The other video over there, that's me and my daughter. So I like to show people that, yes, I run my own business, but I do this because she's my reason. I need people to know that I'm not just like this money hungry person. Like I'm doing this because I want to provide for her and myself. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So when other people know that you're building a business because your family depends on it, because you're building a legacy, because you're doing this, then they're more invested in you versus, oh, let me like nickel and dime you. Let me discount I don't speak discount dialect. Everything that I do, I focus on Lux language. I talk about the value that it's going to give you, how you're going to feel better, how it's going to eliminate all your problems and your frustrations. That's what I focus on. I'm not BOGO, buy one, get one. Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that at all, basically. I mean, I'm pretty much against that because I don't want to ever devalue anything. You know, there's no reason to.
And then the last piece that we have over here is going to be public value. So these are a couple of things that we've done for clients. This one of my clients, he invests in manufactured ADUs because what's really hot right now in the real estate development is you get like these custom granny flats built out. And he's like, why do that if you could just buy a manufactured one and get a new ADU in 8 hours? To me, that was like, oh, I haven't seen anyone else say that before. You know?
Sure.
So he took a stance. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like everyone's telling you need a general contractor and you got to do this. And sometimes a build can take 6 to 8 months. He's like, no, 8 hours. One and done. Right?
There's going to be a market for both. And so I think you've nailed it. And I think we need to do a really good job on this in every facet. There's no need to play the middle ground. Go all in one way or the other on what you believe in. I totally am with that. I don't like wishy-washiness, period.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm just kind of like, if you're meh, then meh. Okay, whatever.
Exactly.
Right? I didn't get this far just to get this far. So I'm not just going to be average. I'm going to look at what everyone else is doing and I'm going to ask myself, how could I be 1% better? And sometimes it's just that. And sometimes that 1% is just responding faster.
It is. This is true.
And sometimes that 1% is just saying, that's a great question. See, someone's like little thing is dinging because like, that's a good one. So sometimes someone will ask a question like, that's a good question. I have a YouTube video for that. That's a good question. I have a 30-second short that I could share about that. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
100%.
Storytelling is also super helpful. So one of these videos, Cashflow Alexio, in the middle, when you guys watch this, he talks about like he's not your average real estate investor where they just want to build affordable housing and blah, 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 right? Or just make more money to pay off his mortgage. He's like, no, I went into residential assisted living because his sister has cerebral palsy and he didn't like the homes that were out there. And he's like, well, I'm already a builder. I'm already doing real estate investing. Why don't I just build something that's better? And people connected with that more than just, hey, if you want to grow your real estate portfolio, you should do Airbnb and blah, blah. Everyone says that. But what's your purpose? You get what I'm saying?
You're right.
What's your why? Good.
Mm.
So practical value. This is just like spitting facts as far as basically this is why I do this. And you should do that too. So one of the things that I love is one of our clients says something along the lines of like, yeah, you could have money sitting in a 401k and your average year over year is probably gonna be like 3-6%. Whereas if you actually cashed out on your 401k, bought some real estate property, that's gonna like skyrocket a whole heck of a lot faster than your 401k. And I was like, dang, no one pulled me aside and told me that. And so seeing that, I was just like, got smacked in the face with some real talk. And I feel like sometimes people just need to hear that. I think one of the reasons why like even Layla Hormozi or Alex, why they pop off is because they tell you like it is. And it's practical value. It's things that you can use.
I thought I just needed to put the thing on my nose, and that was all that it took. Just the strip gets you extra million views every time.
It's not that. I tried it.
Just kidding. And Blaine just bought the domain bougiebots.com.
I know.
I envy you, my friend.
Yeah,
okay. I'm going to need you to take a screenshot of this because now I'm just going to walk you through this process now that you guys kind of know how the game is. And it's really just a game. Right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So take that one. And then I'll see if I could share another one. Let me stop this one. And then I'm going to share this other screen for y'all. All right. Now, where did you guys go? There's my screen. I'm going to put you over here. You guys can see this 5-minute contact factory that I just built for y'all?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I have tested and it's amazing.
Okay, good.
It's amazing.
All right. So let's talk about this. If you're a chatbot builder, whoever's in the comments, let's say you want to create content to promote your services. Tell me, who are you trying to create content for? Restaurant, cafes? Just give me a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Do you let's go 1. Let's do number 1.
1? Okay. All right. So we are creating content for restaurant and cafes on why they need a chatbot builder or a chatbot. So what type of content do you want to create? Like a brand awareness video, explainer video, how-to tutorial video, product demo, or testimonial video?
The how-tos, I love them, but I think 1 is what we are all here, right?
You want to do a brand awareness video?
1, yeah, let's do number 1.
You guys are on this one. Okay. So what's the purpose of the video? Do you want leads, educate customers, engage them, increase brand awareness? You want to nurture your existing leads?
We want the greens. We want the greens.
Yeah, everyone.
The 1?
I want to go with number 4. Sorry, I think number 4.
You want to do
this is the stay consistent.
Okay, perfect.
So we're gonna go 4.
Yeah.
we got somebody saying 1. I'm outvoted. CBB.
Let's go 1 then. Let's go 1 because you did get voted.
I'm outvoted.
I'm just cracking up right now. Okay, so then you got to tell me what type of content you want to. Short form, long form, social media stories, live stream, or a webinar.
I'm not going to say anything this time. If you voted down.
Wendy? I think short.
Shorts?
I don't know. Well, I will say 4 because if I go to anything that is pre-recorded, it's gonna take me forever to edit. So live stream and that's it.
You want to do a live stream? Okay, so we'll do 4.
Number 4.
All right, love it. So we're going to do a live stream. And what do you want to do? You want it to be educational? You want emotional storytelling? You want a promo? You want to do behind the scenes? You want it to be a testimonial? What do you want to do?
Either 1 or 4. What does the people say?
Well, they're going to be delayed. So
Asta.
4. I'd go for
4 behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the idea is we're doing something behind the scenes. to make our restaurant and cafe owners feel like insiders. So based off of the contagious content that we talked about, how do you want to frame your content? Do you want social currency, triggers, remember tacos, emotion, public, practical value, or stories?
Do
Oh,
emotion.
very
I think we don't hit emotion at all. I would love to see what that looks like.
3? Okay, let's do that.
I guess I
Good,
get
so-
emotional when I tell everybody how much I love them and stuff. I love y'all so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this hour 50 long thing with me.
5 hours.
Okay.
Right?
So we're targeting restaurants and cafes. We want a brand awareness video that's going to drive some leads. We're going to do a live stream that gives behind the scenes, and we're going to drive some emotion. Great. So here's how you can structure it. What if your restaurant could take orders, answer questions, and book tables even while you sleep? Most restaurants lose customers because they can't answer every call or message right away. With the chatbot, you're turning every missed opportunity into a confirmed booking automatically. So let me show you exactly how this works. From answering, do you have vegan options, to confirming a birthday dinner, this bot does it all instantly. Then you're going to give that build up. So imagine your team is focusing on creating amazing dishes with your chatbot, blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to build it out and then want to see what this could look like in your restaurant. Drop a comment, message us. Let's make your restaurant unstoppable.
Dope.
I freaking love that. You know what? I'll be honest with you, Stephanie. This is actually probably one of the best use cases for a GPT I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And on the back end, how I built this out is I took our viral hooks that we do for our clients in our videos and that
And you
framework, and I was put
trained
it in here. Yep. Just for you guys.
So
Because I was
good.
like, how do I, if I'm a chatbot builder and I want to sell my services, how do I get people to know the importance and the
Amazing.
value?
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely one of the best. You get Miranda. What's up, Miranda? She's one of our OGs. She's an author and a teacher, and she's one of the smartest people. We don't get to see her on too many lives. Please share the QR code again. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Pepe.
Well, I have a couple of questions from our Latinos, but I don't know how many questions can I throw in there?
Up to you. I mean, I built this for you.
By the way, I just want to say thank you so much, Stephanie. This has been absolutely it's everything I would hoped it would be, knew it would be, and then 10 times more as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love
let's
it.
get our people's questions
Yeah,
answered
it has
while we still got
Kind
her.
of also all of it.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay, so first question that I got was from Roberto Ramirez, and he's asking, what's your opinion about boosting, like the blue option right on the ad, versus going to the ads manager to do a proper ad?
I would do a proper ad for ads manager, because if you're like me, you like to be meticulous and detailed, and you want to A/B and test, right? Like you want to know like what you're actually doing. The boost for me is just kind of like it's a money grab. Like you're just kind of leaving it up for the algorithm to do that. And for me, I want, like, you already have an inclination, a clue about who your audience is and where you want to target, like specific geos. Like if I want an affluent community here in San Diego, I'm not going to say greater San Diego area. I'm going to say La Jolla, Rancho Santa Fe, right? I'm also even going to target like the specific schools that they go to, like Poway School District. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know more about this versus the boost option that's not even going to ask you like who's your target audience, blah blah blah. They're just like, oh, you want to give me money? Sure.
Completely agree. Then Roberto is doing like kind of a follow-up, asking like, okay, if videos are now for selling and we're using the power of CBD in this equation, how necessarily did you see to have a landing page or a sales page?
How necessary is it to have a landing page?
So say they're running a post or an ad, paid or not.
Exactly.
Do you think that landing pages or websites are still something that's required?
Must.
Do you think that that's necessary still?
Honestly, everyone has a different decision-making process. And so sometimes people think websites or businesses are credible if they have a website or a landing page. Okay. So
Agreed.
For me, example, when I was trying to reach out to a videographer and I say, hey, do you have examples, a portfolio of your work? They're like, oh no, I just post on Instagram. I'm not hiring you. Okay. Because in my decision-making process, I should be able to see examples of your work. I should be able to see like testimonials or something, or someone has to vouch for you before I put money down. But that's just my decision-making strategy. Now, what I'm saying is the person with the most flexibility controls the system.
I would
So-
say have an A and B, like
Yeah.
test it out, and whatever works, that is.
Whatever works. Yeah. So even for me, when I'm teaching, I'll always have like a video component. I'll have an audio component. I'll have a worksheet. I'll always have different things for different learning styles because not everyone learns the same way.
100%. You're multimedia the whole time today, which was fantastic. And you were interactive with the QR codes, which is like, it's, you probably remember even back in 2020, I was screaming out here, QR codes are going to be everywhere. And man, they sure are. But like, you can't go into your house and not find one right now. But the fact
Yeah.
that I see it right here, you would not see this 4 years ago necessarily. Maybe
No.
from you because you've always been so like, cutting edge really.
Yeah.
But everything here has been so valuable and so on point. Things that I've known most of the things, but I needed to have that refresher. And I love all the alliteration in your stuff, man. It's always like it's like you're freestyling up here. I like freestyles.
Love it.
Right. It's one of those things where, content really isn't that hard. You just need a system. And hopefully this 5-minute content factory will get you out of your own way because you don't have an excuse anymore as far as like,
100%.
I need a script for a short form video. I need a script. I got you. I've done it. Now all you have to do is do the work. I can't do the reps for you. But
And
I
you
will
can't make
say
it
this.
any easier. You just won.
I can't make it any easier for you.
1-4.
But I will
love
say
that.
this. What I will say this. If you're still sitting on the fence like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do this, tell me that so I could send it to your competitor.
Oh,
Tell me that so I could go to your competitor and say, you know what? This person's not going to do it. You want to steal their business? Do it now. Because while they're doubting themselves, you get dollars.
Now I love you even more. Just
I'll tell you what, that you and Wendy and stuff, y'all are on the West Coast, man. Y'all are some different folks over there. Boy, that's scary. That'll get you motivated.
I'm just going to be honest with you. We're living in a different economy right now
I'm
where
with
it's
Jeff.
like
Ouch.
closed mouths don't get fed. And here's the thing.
Yes, she's gangster, y'all. I told you.
Here's the thing is that people will come to me and say like, oh, business isn't doing good right now. And da-da-da-da. I'm like, nothing changes if nothing changes. So great. Congratulations. You found out. You're in that found out stage of if I don't create content, now I found out. I don't make no money. Good. You could choose to sit there or you could take this tool that I literally gave you for free, courtesy of Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Right. Courtesy of Ryan and Wendy.
It was worth it. This was 100% worth it all day
We just
long. And I knew
laid
it
it all out there for you. But I will tell you, your competitor is probably going to be sitting there like, damn, you didn't, it was right there. You didn't take that deal.
Stephanie, and you're not doing anything. That's on you.
Yeah.
I want to, thank you so much for your time, Stephanie. I'll say this too about it. The only regret that I've got so far in our journey in CBB is I didn't start 6 months earlier. That's the only single regret. And if we had, I think we'd be twice as big. I think that there's no reason to wait around anymore. There's no reason to do it. There's no reason to wait around for that big fancy camera. There's no reason to wait for that special topic to enter your brain because Stephanie's giving you an amazing tool to generate the idea now. I'm going to be using that this week. I can guarantee it.
Same.
Yeah. Literally put that out there. I'm telling you, and this is for y'all, but if someone else swooped in and just did this, like, it's not that hard,
Wow.
It's really not that hard. I took all the excuses off the table for you.
Well, listen, Stephanie, I really appreciate everything you did today. This was absolutely phenomenal. Guys in the chat, let her know if yes, Stephanie is straight gangster. That's my favorite. Where did it go?
That'll go in the awesomeness folder right there.
Yes, we got all the people. You got a lot of fans today. I think that people that didn't know you, the maybe few that didn't, I think now they definitely do. What's our man John? John's a VIP. What's he saying here? Video sales letter.
Asking you shall receive, friend. I'll build that in there right now. So give me like 30 minutes and I'll put it on there.
Into the GPT? Sweet.
Yeah.
John, thanks. That's a good question, John. Good to see you, bro. Thank you, Claudia, for being here. Yeah, she's freaking awesome.
Yeah, we got a lot of more
all the
questions, but I
fans.
think those we can those were more technical, so I would throw them to Ryan. And the only one that it's left for you, Stephanie, I need to ask you this one because you chose that subject, and they throw this question right before the live started. So it's like it was made to happen, you know. I had someone asking, what's your opinion about pineapples on tacos al pastor?
Pineapple tacos.
I swear someone asked me
I mean,
that.
if I'm hungry, I'm hungry. I'll eat it. There's nothing else on the menu.
Oh
I'll
my
eat it.
Listen,
God.
no pineapples on pizza. That's draw the
No,
line
I don't
somewhere.
pizza. I'd say on the tacos al pastor. You know, like
I mean, I'm kind of in my macro era right now. So whatever gives me fiber and some good side of carbs, I'm for it, because cutting is
Listen,
rough.
what we'll do, we'll send yeah, I don't know. Well, I won't put your stuff out there. I would love to send you Uber Eats or DoorDash of your favorite stuff this week. Maybe on Friday we'll have maybe I should do that for all CBB employees too. Do
Everyone
they
gets
got Uber
tacos.
Eats out there in Fiji, Asta?
No, they don't.
We'll have to change that,
Oh
baby.
my, that's so sad.
Yes, we do.
Well, listen, thank y'all so much. This was great. I'm glad that CBB Nation thank y'all for supporting and showing up. This is a really
Yeah.
fun live, and we won't be able to do this all the time, but hopefully we'll be able to have Stephanie back before the end of the year, because I think we'll have to have that Q4 motivation, something like that, if she can pencil us in. I know she stays busy.
Man, all you gotta do is ask. I mean, the second I saw Wendy pop up, I was like, "Hey, girl."
Yeah, it
And the
was
reason
like,
and listen, the reason that happened literally that day was because of something that you posted. You know, you did it. You're like, basically, I'm the queen of being present, and here I am. I'm present. And I was like,
Sometimes,
she
you know,
is.
you know.
Do you know
Okay,
what I'm
so
saying? Do you happen to know the piece of? I don't remember what it was, but it was just something. I don't remember.
it was something, because it was funny, because right after I posted that, and this isn't.
You knew
like,
it clicked. You're like,
I knew it
that.
happened because I did that.
You
And
knew
it
it. See,
wasn't
I
just,
knew you knew.
yeah.
I knew you knew what I knew.
I was like, oh, that worked. And because that worked, the thing is, Ryan, I then made a note in Notion. I said, this worked. I don't,
Mm.
and it's something for me to go look back on and be like, okay, something about this post worked. Something about da-da-da. The little things that I typically like to do is I'll change my Facebook cover photo because I get that much space. I will always do it like a pinned post. I know for me, like on Facebook, photo drops always work. Maybe it was the one of me and Emma. Yeah, maybe it was the one of me and Emma where I was just like, my business wouldn't be where it is today if it weren't for all the referrals. And then Wendy popped up, and I was like, oh yeah, I just, you know,
Yeah,
which was
perfect
really
timing.
cool, because it's the truth, you know. A lot of the clients that I work with and that I love working with, like y'all, it's based off of real camaraderie. It's, you know, it's like you're building a business, I'm building a business. I could help your crew, and you know, it works out.
I know
Yeah.
you helped a lot of people tonight. You helped us. You helped me. And this was absolutely worth it, like I knew it would be. If this doesn't get you fired up to crush it for your business for the rest of the year, I don't know what will. Maybe you shouldn't be in business. You got to be fired up and motivated. And this is, for me, this does it. And a shout out to Doug. I
well, let
didn't know.
Stephanie show it to your competition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Stephanie's going to
Yeah.
show it to your competition since you're snoozing and losing. Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
and like I say that because I met this guy at a networking event, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And da-da-da-da. And then I saw him again. I'm like, hey, did you ever do that thing? He's like, no, I didn't. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to your competition right now. And I'm going to send them a DM, and I'm going to show them this right now. And he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you think he freaking did it? Yeah.
You did it then. Yeah.
Immediately.
It's like one of those things where, like, as much as I love working with people that are motivated by the goal, I will tell you, most people are motivated by the pain. And I don't always want to be that way.
Yeah.
But if I know what your motivation is, I will motivate you either with the carrot or the stick. And if it's the stick, I'm really good with the stick. I'm Filipino. I got like chanclas and slippers and all that, right? Like, I can do that.
Off the chain.
I can do that. I'm Asian. I'm Filipino, you know?
You're so awesome.
So
All the Latinos are with you at this moment.
So you just tell me what motivates you, and I'll figure out a way to tell you in such the way to get you to get it done. Yeah.
And there's no other, you know, she's so deterministic and she's for real, y'all. I never have somebody on here that's not totally about it and like walking the walk, talking the talk. This is as real as it gets. And CBB knows that. But guys, I think that's all of our time for today. Stephanie, you're awesome. Thank you so much. We'll be sure to drop all your socials and stuff for anyone to follow you and
Yeah.
tell you thank you for your time. But I want to personally just thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for
You're
having me.
welcome.
You guys are amazing. Wendy, I'll send you the updated link for
Yes.
the presentation. I think I made like a last minute change. And then you could send it out to the crew, whether you guys get their emails and whatnot.
Okay.
Totally.
Yes.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
All
I'll
right, y'all.
catch you later, Stephanie. Thank you so much. Wendy, thank you always for being here, supporting us, doing the things, and so much for making sure our people speaking Spanish, the Latino crowd, got their voices heard and their questions answered. We love all you guys. But thank you so much for the time.
Love you
All right.
guys. See you
See you
soon.
later. Bye,
See you.
Wendy. And Mr. Asta, all the way in Fiji, the guy in the future. What day is it in? It's Tuesday over there, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. Today's Tuesday.
man, well, thank you so much for all you do. We appreciate the videos that you do and the time you spend with everyone. It's so appreciated. Arranging this, and we've got some more things later in the month that you've been in charge of, which is great to see you stepping up to the plate, being a boss that I know that you're going to be. And I just want to say thank you so much, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I got the best teacher in the house.
We're all learning together, baby. I'll talk to you soon, man. And CBB Nation, I hope this was something that you thought was valuable, much more fun and entertaining, and hopefully educational, more so than the Saturday and Sunday lives. But everything that we do it for you. We want you to be successful. If you're not winning, we're not winning, and that's not something that I can allow to happen. So we all need to win together, big time. And thank you for the comments and for engaging. There are mega people in the entertainment and news world. I watch this kind of stuff. They get onto their lives, and the ratio and the amount of engagement and authenticity that our people are 35 million people, 32 million. We're a different group, and it's only going to get better, and we're only going to grow together, and we're going to dominate. And so, thank you for allowing us to invest in you in this time, and thank you for taking the time to be with us. And with that, we'll see you later. Peace.